Hello and welcome you all for the next topic on odds ratio. In odds ratio, which is a point estimate of statistical analysis, and this is used for retrospective studies, or I call it as case control studies. In the previous video lecture, we have seen relative risk, and we have seen that it is used in prospective studies, whereas case control studies or retrospective studies, we will be using odds ratio. What it does, it identifies the odds of the exposure that would have elicited the outcome, right? So odds ratio is the ratio of odds of event for exposed versus unexposed. What is the odds of event in exposed? What is the odds of event in unexposed? You take a ratio of those two, and that is the odds ratio. Now this is useful for the analysis of the rare cases. Whenever there is a rare case that has occurred, what are the odds that it is related to a particular cause? So the causal analysis can be performed here. It is similar to relative risk, but not the same. That you need to remember. It's similar to relative risk, but not the same. Relative risk cannot be calculated for case control studies, because relative risk, when you say, you will be looking into the forward direction, whereas the case control study is in the backward direction in time zone. So OR is a point estimate of population similar to the mean or any or other variables what you learned earlier. So it's a point estimate, it's a one single value. How do we calculate odds ratio? Odds ratio is defined as odds of event for exposed group to odds of ratio event for unexposed group. So first you have to find out the odds rate for exposed, odds rate for the unexposed, or take a ratio of that. Odds rate is A by B, A divided by B. That is what is the odd of getting a case with respect to a control, A by B. Similar to the unexposed, what is the odds of getting a case with respect to the control, C by D. Take those two ratios, A by B divided by C by D. So otherwise, if you simplify this, it gives you A into D divided by B into C. In simple, if you look at this carefully here, A into D cross divided by C into B. Now I told you that it's something similar to the relative risk, similar to this, right? We have used the similar table there, but not the same. This is what it makes similar as well as different. Here it is A by B. The for exposed case we'll be taking A by B. In the case of relative risk, we have taken A by A plus B. For exposed group, we have taken A divided by A plus B in the relative risk. For odds ratio, we are taking A by B. So this is the major difference. Now imagine A is very less compared to B. A is very less compared to B. What will happen? This B will be almost equal to A plus B. This B and A plus B are nearly equal. In that case, the denominator becomes equal. So that is what I said. Relative risk almost nearer to the odds ratio if this B is very large. Now probabilities are usually 0 to 1. This odds ratio has got a range 0 to infinity. Now the relative risk, if you remember, we have taken the risk rate of exposed to risk rate of unexposed. Two ratios we have taken, whereas here it is odds rate of exposed to odds rate of unexposed. So the denominator makes the difference for relative risk and odds ratio. So let's understand what does it mean, the values of OR. If values of OR is greater than 1, if it is greater than 1, the odds of events occurring for exposed group is higher. Odds of event occurring for for exposed group is higher. If OR is lesser than 1, that odds of that event or disease occurring is lower for the exposed group. If OR equal to 1, the odds of occurring that event for two groups are same. That doesn't change. That means there is no association between the exposure and the risk group. Exposure and this event, there is no relation, you can say, when OR is equal to 1. Now let us look at the one illustration. I have given you a problem here, that is occurrence of lip cancer. So this is the case, yes is the case, no is the control. Yes versus case versus control, we are checking for the pipe smoking status. So this is the risk factor we are checking out, yes or no, we are tracing it backward. So we get this particular data frequency. That means you have taken 537 cases of lip cancer occurring, and 500 cases of lip cancer not occurring. When these cases are traced back, whether there is a pipe smoking or not, 339 yes, 198 no. Similarly 149 yes and 351 no for the case of control. Now you are going to calculate the odds ratio. That means 339 divided by 149 numerator, 198 divided by 351. 339 by 149, this is called as odds of occurrence of lip cancer among smoking group. 198 by 351, the denominator is nothing but odds rate of occurrence of lip cancer among unexposed group. So these two rates you are going to take a ratio and it comes to 4. How do we interpret now? Odds of contracting lip cancer. This is the outcome. Odds of contracting lip cancer is 4 times higher. The new number is more than 1, right? So it is 4 times higher among the pipe smoker to non-pipe smoker. So numerator, denominator. So among the pipe smoker it is greater compared to non-pipe smokers. So we have calculated the OR and it's a point estimate. As I have told you, for the relative risk, the value of OR is not sufficient. You have to calculate confidence interval also. Confidence interval calculation, if you look at it, the equation of confidence interval is exactly the same that you use for relative risk, but the variance that you are going to calculate is slightly different. Here it is 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C plus 1 by D, right? Geometric mean. So it is A, B, C, D. What you have taken here, you will be taking the inverse of that and adding it, right? So variance will be calculating. Odds ratio you have already calculated. Use that here. Odds ratio exponential of minus z plus multiplied by square root of variance. Here it is positive, here it is negative. So two values you get. That means it's the range for the confidence interval. The value of z is 1.96 when you take 95% confidence interval. In my previous video I have told you about this when I was explaining you the relative risk, right? So confidence interval, if it consists of 1, then OR is not very significant. This particular information I have already explained it to you in the relative risk. Same explanation holds good here. For more details you can watch my video on relative risk for this particular case, where I explained you the confidence interval for relative risk. The only difference from that and this is that variance, rest remain the same. So the illustration what I have explained previously, same illustration, let me take it. Odds ratio is 4.03 and the variance, when you substitute these values, you get around 0.0176. So inverse of A, B, C, D, you will take it and sum it, 0.016. When you substitute into the confidence interval equation, you get 95%. Yeah, I'll be taking 95% confidence interval where z is equal to 1.96. So you get this range. What is this? 3.1 to 5.2. Odds ratio is in between that. Yes, absolutely right. What does this mean now? So this 95% confidence interval, this range is greater compared to 1, right? It's more than 1. Don't forget that. So odds of contracting lip cancer is 4 times significantly higher among pipe smokers than non-pipe smokers. Earlier we mentioned about this, that significantly word was not there. The reason is we do not know whether it was greater. Confidence interval has 1 or not, 1 or no within that particular range. Here 1 is not present within the range. So you can confidently you can tell that within the confidence interval range, since 1 is not there, it's significantly higher. Okay, we come to the summary point. What did we learn in this video? Odds ratio, it's used for retrospective studies, case control studies, not other where relative risk you can't use it. Odds ratio is the ratio between odds rate of exposed to odds rate of unexposed, A by B by C by D. Then you'll be calculating the confidence interval, very same as relative risk, where variance is different, that is 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C 1 by D. 95% confidence when you take it, z will be equal to 1.96. So the most important thing is your confidence interval should not include 1. If so, the odds ratio may not be very significant. We have come to the end of this video. Thank you.